In the heart of the African village, Ayisha was born to loving parents who showered her with affection and love. Ayisha was a very beautiful young girl, but as she grew older, she became restless, always yearning for more than what her simple life could offer. Despite the warnings from her parents and the elders of the village, Ayisha was not content with the modest gifts she received. She craved the finer things in life, the jewels, the dresses, and the lavish lifestyle that she believed she deserved. When every girl dressed simple, Ayisha would dress very loud to seek attention and loved log braids on her head. She knew she was very beautiful and decided to use it to her own advantage. In exchange for gift and a lavish lifestyle, she gave herself out to the men in her village. She did not end there one by one. She took in men from other villages. To run away from disapproving eyes of her parents and the elders, she went far away, ignoring the counsel of her elders. She had a man friend called David. He promised her heaven and earth and asked her to move with him to the city. There he promised her that with her looks and beauty, she would be the talk of the town and would get any man or job she wanted. With greed filling her heart, she jumped at it without reason and left the village. Ayisha left her village behind and journeyed to the bustling city, where she found herself amidst the opulence she had always dreamed of. The streets were lined with towering buildings, adorned with glistening lights, and the air buzzed with the energy of possibility. There, she exchanged her body for gifts and money, reveling in the attention and adoration of wealthy men who were drawn to her beauty like moths to a flame. In the shadows of towering skyscrapers and neon-lit streets, Ayisha navigated a world where desire was currency and temptation lurked around every corner. She became a siren of the night, her beauty a beacon that attracted men from all walks of life. From powerful businessmen to influential politicians, they flocked to her like bees to honey, eager to indulge in her company in exchange for material pleasures. Ayisha knew the power she wielded, and she used it to her advantage without remorse. She slept with every man she met, as long as he had the money to spend. Each encounter left her feeling exhilarated, her senses heightened by the thrill of the forbidden and the promise of luxury. She became so rich and had servants at her beck and call. One of her servants was a dwarf named Kofi, but beneath the facade of extravagance and indulgence, Ayisha's heart remained empty and unfulfilled. Despite the wealth and adoration she amassed, she longed for something more meaningful than fleeting pleasures and material wealth. And as she lay in the arms of yet another wealthy suitor, she couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness that gnawed at her soul. In a twist of fate, Ayisha met a man named Yinka, who captured her heart, unlike any other. He was kind and gentle, with eyes that sparkled with sincerity. For the first time in her life, Ayisha felt the stirrings of true love. Ayisha and Yinka courted for a while, her soul yearning for the warmth of genuine affection. Their blossoming romance brought a sense of hope and renewal to Ayisha's weary spirit. It was a wonderful feeling for Ayisha. It seemed as if light illuminated the dark corners of her past. Filled with newfound determination, Ayisha resolved to change her ways, to leave behind the shadows of her former life, and embrace the promise of a brighter future. She dared to dream of a life filled with love, laughter, but fate had other plans in store for her. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, Ayisha's joy was overshadowed by a growing sense of uneasiness. And then, the truth came crashing down upon her like a tidal wave. She was pregnant. With trembling hands and a heart heavy with uncertainty, Ayisha gathered the courage to share the news with her beloved. But instead of the warmth and reassurance she had hoped for, she was met with icy indifference. "You should look for the father of the child," he said, his words a cruel dagger plunging into the tender flesh of her hopes and dreams. "After all, you're just a call lady." The impact of his callous rejection left Ayisha reeling, her world shattered into a million pieces. She had dared to believe in the possibility of redemption, only to be cast aside like a discarded toy. Crushed by the weight of her Yinka's indifference, Ayisha retreated, into the depths of despair, her heart bleeding with the pain of betrayal and abandonment. Once again, she found herself standing at the precipice of loneliness, staring into the abyss of her past mistakes. As the days passed, Ayisha found herself questioning the path she had chosen. The glamour of her lifestyle faded, replaced by a gnawing sense of emptiness and remorse. She longed for redemption, for a chance to break free from the chains that bound her to a life of sin and degradation. Ayisha, though of taking her life, she felt life had nothing in store for her, and what could she offer this child growing in her womb with her past sins? She found a bottle and drank its content, and then slumped. Her servants all left her to die, except for one of them named Kofi, a dwarf. He stayed back to help her. He managed to drag her to a local herbalist shop where she was given a strong and vomited all she drank. After some days she began to recover. Kofi took care of her, and she wondered why he would care for her. He was there to tell her stories, to comfort her when she was sad and heavy with child. One day, she got the courage to ask him why, and he said, "I know what it feels like to be rejected." Then he said, "Look at me. Nobody want to be my friend, because I am a dwarf." It was then that she really took a good look at him and said, "You are fine the way you are." For the first time, she saw Kofi smile, and it melted her heart. From that day on, they became good friend, even if he was her servant. Then, with a heart heavy with regret, Ayisha made a decision that would change the course of her life forever. She walked away from the world of prostitution, leaving behind the glittering veil of luxury for a chance at redemption and renewal. But the journey to redemption was not an easy one. Ayisha faced judgment and condemnation from those who knew of her past, their scorn a constant reminder of the mistakes she had made. But she refused to be defined by her past, determined to forge a new path for herself, one built on compassion and forgiveness, and Kofi encouraged her all the way. Slowly, Ayisha rebuilt her life from the ground up, finding solace in the simple pleasures of everyday existence. She volunteered at a local shelter, offering comfort and support to those in need. She sought forgiveness from those she had wronged, her heart heavy with remorse and regret. Kofi showed Ayisha unwavering kindness and compassion, caring for her when she had no one else to turn to. As Ayisha's pregnancy progressed, Kofi became her constant companion, offering her comfort and solace in her time of need. And in the quiet moments they shared together, Ayisha found herself falling for the gentle soul who had stood by her side when no one else would. Ayisha found peace within herself. She gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. She named him Kofi Jnr, and Kofi was so happy that he did not know when he asked her to be his wife. Ayisha was shocked, but was very happy that despite her past, Kofi was ready to marry her and take her son as his. Ayisha felt blessed by the gods and promised to raise her son right. In the end, it was not the wealthy suitors or the allure of riches that brought Ayisha true happiness, but the love of a humble dwarf who had seen beyond her flaws and accepted her for who she truly was. And as they welcomed their child into the world, Ayisha knew that she had finally found the love and acceptance she had been searching for all along.